we encountered some of these, and it is really there. The devil is at work. I was married by the devil's family. That time, there were people I saw coming in my dreams, and in real life, they were my mother-in-law's friends. Those people tried to touch me, but they failed, and that created a very hatred between me and my in-law. I stayed with those people. I prayed they failed to touch me, to an extent that the mother ended up killing my husband. This is how I overcame witchcraft. This is a weapon for witches. Praying in your... Hello viewers, welcome once again to another educative episode of African Confessions HD, right here on Extraordinary Africa. My name is Solution Uncle. If you're still new in this show, we publish lifetime confessions. Usually, we publish anonymously for their own safety reasons. Listener, you're having a challenge, you're having a problem, don't go to the forest and commit suicide. Freely send your confession to us. Don't be shy, don't be afraid. Freely send it on our WhatsApp number +263 775 597 775. +263 775 597 775. Or you can contact us on our email address, and the email address is on the screen. Listeners, today we have another shocking confession. It's like a continuation from our last upload. This one is our sister. She was once married by a son of a top cult leader. The mother, the in-law of the ex-in-law of her was a top leader of witches and wizards. And she have another advices to us on how to counter-attack witches and wizards from her experience. It's unbelievable, this world we are living. Listeners, without wasting much of your time, let's go straight into the confessions. Good evening, Solution Uncle. I'm sorry for interacting in your daily program. I am a woman in my mid-20s. I regret being married in this family. I always hear your voice, Solution Uncle, when you say, do a background check before moving into a relationship, before meeting new people. Yes, you'll be telling them the truth. Failure to do that caused problems in my life. The fact that I didn't did a background check has led me to be in this trouble. I grew up staying with my maternal relatives. It is said that my father died when I was still a baby. In our traditional culture, they believe that if a man dies, the wife will go back home with the child. If the child is a daughter, that child and the mother will go back to the mother's place and stay there till the child is able to go back to her paternal relatives on her own. If it is a son, then they will build a new house for that woman, or she will be taken by one of the deceased young brothers. I was a daughter, and I moved back with my mother to her relatives. We stayed with my aunties and my uncles and their children. It was good. My mother stayed for some time and later on moved on, got married by another man. She left me with my maternal relatives, your mother, father, brothers, sisters, and their children. We stayed peacefully. Mom would not skip 3 months without coming back to check on me. It was good. I thank God the man who married my mother was a very caring, loving father. Because they have a small house, I remained with my maternal relatives, or else I would have stayed with them if they have a much bigger house. Not because the man did not want me to move in with my mother. It's only that they have a small house. I have been staying with my maternal relatives, going to holidays to my mother's place. Sometimes my young sisters from that mother's new marriage will be with us in the rural area. Sometimes I will be there. At a later stage, Mom and stepdad bought a much better house, so I used to be there. But most of my time I will be with my maternal relatives. I have been staying with my maternal relatives because here in our country it is cheaper to learn in a school situated in the rural area than to learn in a school located in the suburbs or in towns. It was cheaper for my mother and her new husband to pay my fees. Stepdad did everything for me. He paid my fees, did everything I wanted. If I wanted new books, I would just call my mother. If I wanted new uniforms, I would call my mother. My mother was not going to work. She was relying on her husband. Stepdad did everything for me, but that is not the issue which has made me to come here and confess. This was a background like you asked me to do. You said you want me to tell your audience my background first before I tell you the actual confession. If there's something I left, please notify me. My story goes like this. After finishing school in the rural area, I passed some subjects and failed some subjects. So my mother and stepdad took me to the town so that I can proceed with education. I can rewrite some of the subjects I failed. So I have been going to do private lessons at this other household. The man was a well-trained teacher but not yet employed by then. He helped me and I passed the remaining subjects through his much help. As people we have been together for some time, we fell in love. Started dating, started loving each other. He told me that he was from this other province. It is almost 400 kilometers from where we were. For some time dating, I never met any of his relatives, only friends. I went with him to my mother and my stepdad. They liked him and we started planning to get married. But it wasn't clear for me to jump into that relationship without knowing any of his relatives. He saw that and counterattacked me. He hired relatives. He hired a man and a woman who acted to be his auntie and his husband. He introduced me to them and said, "This is the girl I'm going to marry." They acted like they have accepted me, just like his real auntie and her husband. Those people were staying in a town closer to the town we were staying. A wedding was planned. Everything was planned. Everything was put to books before the wedding. He told me that we should go to his rural area so that his parents can know me before the wedding day. We went to the rural area. This is when I am blaming myself for being robbed in daylight. Everything was already in books by the time we went to the rural area. We had already booked the place. I had already fallen so much in love with the men, but when we arrived at the village, I was shocked to see their homestead looking like a shrine. His mother was always angry, quiet and reserved. There is a secret hut only the mother was allowed to enter. My boyfriend's elder sisters and brothers slept in one room, bathing together. It shocked me. How can different sex siblings over the ages of 40 sleep under one roof? Not married, not thinking to marry. They were all not in good books with my boyfriend. He was different to them. This all left me with a lot of questions. To worsen it, there was a certain area which was not allowed anyone to enter. It was fenced by traditional trees and grass. Inside that, there are two huts. The mother will be always there. That day we visited, I had bad dreams over the night. I saw naked people coming to me, but they were failing to touch me. Whenever they tried to touch me, they end up looking like someone who was trying to touch electricity or fire. I didn't notice anyone. They were all strangers. That was a long night for me. The next day, my husband wanted me to spend another day there, but I acted to be sick. He was afraid that something might happen to me whilst I was far from my place. We traveled back to town. It was late to move out of the relationship. I just accepted it as it is. The wedding day was already planned. The church has sponsored. It was done. The parents were there. The next day after the wedding, my husband was sick. He went to his rural area. I started dreaming of those people coming into that house, entering into that certain place. They would be dancing, singing in language I don't understand. That time, there were people I saw coming in my dreams, and in real life, they were my mother-in-law's friends. Those people tried to touch me, but they failed, and that created a very hatred between me and my in-law. My mother mother-in-law didn't like me anymore. There were always misunderstandings, especially when those people try to come to me in dreams and they will seemingly like they have touched fire. The next day, my mother-in-law will be very angry at me. To a certain extent, I asked my husband, what's all this? He exposed everything. That was one of the reasons why he moved out from the rural area, because they wanted him to join them. His mother was a cult leader, a leader of wizards and witches. I stayed with those people. I prayed they failed to touch me, to an extent that the mother ended up killing my husband. I went back to the city. I was told by many prophets I was in a dangerous marriage. They killed their own son because they wanted you to step away from them. There is a lot I managed to know after staying with those people. When you feel there's something on top of you, when you feel there's something around you when you are sleeping, learn to pray in that moment, on that moment. Learn to pray when you feel there's something on top of you. Learn to pray when you are in difficult situations. Learn to pray whilst you are asleep. Learn to pray in those dreams. This is how I overcame witchcraft. This is a weapon for witches. Praying in your dreams. You can only do that if you once did it daytime, before sleeping. Yes, you need to pray so that you will be safeguarded. I agree with this show. Solution Uncle, continue to do this wonderful job you are doing. We encountered some of these, and it is really there. The devil is at work. I was married by the devil's family. I only say Richard, my late husband. Rest in peace. I wanted you to be with me. There was no way I was going to break up with you because of your mother's behaviors. Just pray you are safe wherever you are. Solution Uncle, God bless you for the wonderful work you are doing. Thank you so much, my sister, for sharing this helpful story with us. We have learned a lot from your story. Thank you so much. Listeners, I'm sorry, this week we were not publishing as many confessions as we expected. To those people who send me confessions, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Usually what we do every first week of the month, there will be visiting those people who are benefiting from Extraordinary Africa Foundation. So I have to travel. Then it won't be easy for me. I will be tired, traveling 200 kilometers from this place to another place. The next day you'll be going to another place very far from where we are broadcasting from. So I'm very sorry. I think we need to improve. We'll find solutions. Extraordinary Africa is not my personal channel. It's not my personal property. Extraordinary Africa is for all of us 10,000 and above followers. May God continue to bless you. I will be also uploading my journey to Admire's place. Never touch that dial. It will be uploaded here on Extraordinary Africa. Before we go any further in this sister story, I think we have to have a look on some of the comments on our previous uploads. This is a video written 2 things you should not do or wishes will ruin you. On the thumbnail, I was a witch. Never do these 2 things with your kids. And here are some of the comments on that video. First confession: my dear sister, can you please share with us how we can unlock our lives if the witches have locked our lives? Please, my sister. Yes, I think I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. We need more clarity because our lives are at risk. Thank God that you give your life to Jesus Christ. That was David Boniface. And the first confession was from Nonto Bekomajola. I'm sorry for bad pronunciation, but I'll try. David Boniface, you said, thank you. Thank God that you give your life to Jesus Christ. Priscilla Jaula, we thank God for your deliverance. God bless you. Precious Mosoto, thank God your deliverance. What can we do to unlock us? Things that God deliver in Jesus' name. This is Richilla Auntie Mategu. Witches don't have power over Jesus of Nazareth. You can ruin witches. 91 Psalms. This is pitiful. Jealous of a person that haven't harmed you. Crazy. I want to ask this our sister who was adopted by her auntie. You explained how they lock our lives using a key. Can you please tell us how can we unlock ourselves? This one was Busimasina. Thank you so much for this helpful question. I think they are listening. I think she's listening. Sister, we need you back to explain what happened. Ruth Buzaite, I hope you repent and turn to Jesus Christ, who is a true God. And Mthalesa, I'm sorry, bad pronunciation. You showed us love emojis. Thank you so much. Menosangoni. Thank you so much for this wonderful comment. And there's this one. As for me, I want to know, is she no longer one of them? And how did she remove the demon? My child is 8 years. She always says she is, and I don't know how to help this child. Her father is normal, and she was with my mother-in-law all from child, and that's the gift she gave my child. Sometimes I think of going and live here there and never to go and see her. Oh, my sister, don't do that. Don't do that. Go with this sister of us to churches. See God. Don't go and leave your child just like that. A child is a gift from God. I will not mention your name because this is a child we are talking about. There are 6 replies. I'm sure they helped you. Hey, sister, there's no need to remain anonymous. Please help this sister out. You are served by a church. Tell us the name of that church. This is what is happening. The world has tended to be something else. Listeners, ladies and gentlemen, let's help our sister who commented. Let's help our sister. I hope we have learned from this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until we meet again in another episodes. Bye for now.